Hello, okay, I have a bit of an update for this reading vlog already. I only started the intro yesterday, but I have started 2 books for this video actually. I'm doing one as an audiobook and one as reading on my Kindle, as at work it's getting a little bit quieter, and whilst I'm doing emails I like to have something listening to something because it's how I focus. So I thought I would put one of the books on as an audiobook that I wanted to read, and so the one I picked up for that was Wrecked by Lauren Asher. This is the 3rd book in the Dirty Air series, and I knew I wanted to read this for this video. I feel like it is on my 2026 TV, but I think it was also, no, it was not on this one, but I think it is on my 2026 TBR, but I'm going to tick it off for it anyway. I'm already 33% of the way through because I have pretty much listened to it most of today. This book follows Jax and Elena. Jax is an F1 driver. He has a bit of a reckless attitude, but also like he's seen by the public as bad, like has been advertising bad behaviour, so Elena's coming as PR to try and like tame that behaviour. So she's coming in to try and like fix Jax's behaviour, and yeah, you're seeing his attitude and it to her, and it's so far so good. I'm actually quite enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, and like as someone who's a fan of F1, I was going into these books hoping to get a bit more F1 talk in it rather than just a romance. This isn't giving as much F1 talk as, like, you know, Downstream, DRS, P1, P2, all the stuff you would get. You've got stuff saying that you've had a good qualifier, which is qualifying, and stuff, so you are getting the F1 side. But it's just not as much as I would hope from an F1 book. I need to be quick, my food's going to be ready soon. But so far so good. I am enjoying it. I think it's going to be like in a 3-star range, but we're not there yet to judge. But I'm liking Elena because she's stuck to her guts, and she's not giving in just because Jax is making her life difficult. However, Jax has also got issues with like his mum's ill, so he's struggling with that. He struggles with anxiety and panic attacks, so he turns to things like alcohol and pills to kind of try and like numb the pain. But yeah, it's cool to not maybe not good best behaviour, but I am enjoying it so far. We'll see how far I get to tomorrow at work. It's potentially could be finished by the end of the week, who knows, but I am really enjoying this book so far. So yeah, the one I'm reading physically I haven't read as much of, but that's because I'm reading it on my Kindle. It's not even physically, but I'm reading my Kindle. Is Off Track by Esha Patel. This was the one I was most interested in out of that list I gave you on my Kindle list. And I'm thoroughly, like, I've read 4 chapters and I've really only got Miguel's point of view so far, but we are getting like actual F1 talk. They talk about Dale, he's like, you're reading his stories of his whilst he's driving, and you see them saying he's like from P14 to P3, he's got downstream, like you hit on the corner, downstream slipstream, sorry. And yeah, so I'm intrigued. I'm also intrigued to read about a woman F1 driver, because that is obviously what this book's about. It's about 2 F1 drivers, one being female, one being male. And I'm really, really intrigued by this book so far. He doesn't seem like a monstrous arsehole yet. So we're gonna see. But obviously we've only had a few chapters. I can't really like get much in it. All I know is his sister is his race engineer, and like the only one allowed to talk to him whilst he is driving. Why did I do that? Whilst he's racing. Hello, okay, I thought I would give you an update on Off Track, which I'm currently reading on my Kindle. You can't see the cover because I've got it open. I'm currently having like a little bit of a reading moment. It's Sunday and I was like, I didn't read a thing yesterday, and I was like, I need to read today. I would like to get this book finished before Christmas Day so I can read a different one on Christmas Day, because bear in mind, I know when you're watching it, it's January, but when I'm filming, it is the week of Christmas, basically. I changed my Kindle insert to the Chestnut Spring one, and I love it. So yeah, I'm currently reading this. I am enjoying it. I don't think it's anything magnificent. I'm preferring this one over Wrecked. I've got like 20% left of Wrecked, but I'm waiting till I go back to work tomorrow because my hours to be fair, they should be renewed on Spotify today. However, I'm waiting to do it at work tomorrow, and this is the last 20% of the book tomorrow. So I should have an update of that, but tomorrow. I'm not hating that book. I think it's actually really good, and I prefer it over the first two. I just think it's not giving me as much F1 vibes, and I think the same about both the other two as well. Like, it's set in an F1 setting, but it's not really talking much about F1. It's too much focusing on the romance. This book focuses more on the F1 than the romance. However, there's one thing I've noticed today when I started reading today is there's not really been so obviously this book follows Miguel and Diana, so obviously I know the relationship's going to be between those two. However, Miguel's currently engaged and Diana's not. Diana's single, but Diana's like she's met someone else who's also an F1 driver, and there's a bit of a flirting thing with them, but it kind of like came out of nowhere. She just kind of said that something would happen with them, and that's it. And I was like, okay, where did this come from? So I feel like that part is a little bit rushed. But moving aside from that, I'm really enjoying the F1 terminology, the F1 talks. Alright, calm down. The F1 talks, the terminology they use, because I know it and I understand it. And I think if I read this book before I started watching F1, I'd be like, what the hell are they talking about? What is going on? I don't care. But the fact that I am reading it now that I'm into F1, it makes me even more excited and more enjoyable and understanding the book more. And like, I'm really happy I'm doing this video, because I was like, I really want to just do a video where I read F1 romances, and the idea came from watching the final race of the season. I was like, I really want to read F1 books right now. That could be a video, and here I am doing that video. I think this book has been written quite well in the fact of F1 terminology and what happens in F1. I'm only 33% of the way through. I'm on page 123. So I'm a little intrigued of what's going to happen, because of what has just happened could be the be-all, end-all of someone's career, potentially, and it's interesting. Okay, I'm going to quickly talk a bit more. I've read a couple more chapters since I spoke to you. Not many, I think like 2. I feel like as much as I am enjoying this book, there's a lot of things in it are quite rushed. Something has just happened, and it kind of, I feel like, isn't something that would happen this early on, or maybe it does, I don't know, because it just may not get announced to us in real life until later, but it feels like a lot of it is being rushed between some of it, like I said, the romantic interest, one of the romantic interests, I guess you could say, one of the romantic interests, yes, like I said, it just came out of nowhere, and everything just seems to be being like rushed in slight bits. I'm like 38% of the way through, and I know this book's only 300 pages, but it feels like certain things in this book are being rushed. So, like, one of the guys in the book has just been offered a seat for a different team for the next, I'm guessing for the next season. But it just feels very rushed, because him and Diana were just talking about it, and then he got offered it, and it was like, I don't know. Okay, hello. It is a bit late. I can't remember the last one I updated you. I think it was yesterday. No, it probably was yesterday, because my camera then said it needed charging. So yeah, I just literally charged you. However, it is Monday, and I did say today would be the day that I would continue Wrecked by Lauren Asher as an audiobook, because I was waiting for my hours to renew and then to finish it at work, and I did finish it at work today. I am now finished with this book, the third book in the Dirty Air series. I'm very happy I can tick this off my series tracker. That's another book completed on my series tracker, and I'm continuing that series. And I think the last book is Santiago's story, as in Maya's brother from the first book. So see, I enjoyed this book. I think controversial to what I'm about to say about the other book, but this book, I really enjoyed the romance element of this. I enjoyed the character progressions. I think there's a good touch on mental health and health issues, and how that complicates like people's mental health and how the mental health of Elena's like past as well, which is done really well in this book. And I think if this was just a normal romance book, I would have probably rated it higher than I did rate it. But because I read it for the Formula One aspect as well, it didn't give as much Formula One. There was a little bit, but like, it wasn't as much as like I'd hope. I say this about all of the Dirty Air series books, especially the last one I read, Collided Again. There wasn't as much Formula One talk as I would have liked. Considering when I read Throttled, I didn't really watch F1, so at that point I couldn't really judge it. But now that I watch F1, obviously I know what things mean by it in F1 now, and there's some things that I said I'm just like, that wouldn't actually happen. But yeah, so I think if this wasn't an F1 book and I wasn't reading it for the F1 aspect as well, I would have rated it higher. But because it's not that much F1, that's what the other reason I've read it, the main reason I've read it for, I'm giving it a 3.75 stars, which is the same I gave Collided. However, I think if I was to re-rate Collided, I'd probably give it a bit lower. I don't think this hits the 4-star territory, but it definitely doesn't hit. I think I would rate this higher than Collided, but yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed the book and I enjoyed the romance. Like, I was intrigued by their relationship and how it was going to work out for them, for both of them, for both Jax and Elena. I think they've both got incredibly complicated like histories, and like I think Elena's got a complicated history and Jax has got a complicated future, and I think but how they go on a journey to overcome all this is what I like the most about this book. So yeah, I enjoyed it. 3.75 stars. Nothing magnificent. Probably would not read again. Probably am going to unhaul this at the end of the year. Well, when I say the end of the year, I don't mean 2026. I mean the end of 2025. So by the time I watch this video, this will be unhauled and either in a charity shop or sold or whatnot. I don't know. But I'm happy I have finally read this book, because this is one of those books that I didn't know if I was ever going to get to, because I wasn't sure if I was in the mood for it, but I am happy I did, and I'm happy I listened to it, because I think I enjoyed it a bit more by listening to it. And yeah, so that's that done. Let me just swap. Okay, this book, Off Track. I'm now going to be controversial to what I've just said about how much like that was so much more romance heavy than F1 heavy. This is very F1 heavy, and I'm loving that. I am really enjoying this because because of the F1's talk, because a lot of it feels like I'm actually reading an F1 book, like, and I'm watching the F1 race happening. Although again, it's very unrealistic. It's not stuff that would. Some of it's very unrealistic. That wouldn't happen. But also at the same point, probably would have done at some point. And I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the story between Diana and Miguel. I feel though the romance side of it is feeling very rushed. Anything that's happening romantic wise is happening and it feels very rushed, and it is kind of tearing away my focus in this book and my enjoyment in this book, because I'm just like, it just feels like we're rushing through a story that probably could, I mean, obviously, like, I get you've got to set the scene, you've got to set the plot, and I get we want the F1 story, and I feel like because if you focus a lot on the romance in an F1 book, then you kind of have to cut out a lot of the F1 stuff you put in a book. But then also, if you focus a lot on the F1 stuff, you have to cut out how much romance you have. I don't know how I can say to make this a little bit like more. I don't know. If I just feel like some of it is slightly rushed. I think the romance we're having with Miguel and Diana, like, there's nothing actually happened. They haven't done anything yet. But I feel like things that have happened for both of them outside in like the friendship / romantic ways has been rushed, and everything to get them to where they are now has been kind of rushed and glossed over. And I'm not sure like how it's gonna work. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about them. I don't know if I even want them to be together. I know they're gonna end up together. It's a romance book, and if they don't, I'll be highly shocked. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this book. Okay, I'm happy to be reading it, and I do want to continue reading it, but I would like just to finish it now. I'm like nearly 60% of the way. If I'm not already, I'm nearly 60% of the way through. I've got 40% to go, and you know when you're just like, I kind of need this to be done now, and I'm tempted just to put the rest of the audiobook on tomorrow, but I personally don't want to sit as an audiobook, because I would like to actually read something physical. And here's my now dilemma. My next dilemma here is now, do I read another F1 romance or finish this video after I finish this book? I feel like this video is not got enough footage for me to say, yeah, I can move on. And I would like to give other books a go. I don't know why I'm looking at this now when I've got still so much to go on this book. There's still 40% of this book to go. This is not Kindle, that's Fable. I, however, do have, one sec, have added a few more books to my Kindle TBR for F1. We have Lights Out by Kayla James. Like, this book seems really interesting. 404 pages. It's another F1 driver, female F1 driver, and F1 and the normal male driver. And I'm not sure if I want something that's basically the same. Then you've got, I also kind of want a shorter book. So like another one I had was Away We Go, but that's like 420 pages, and I don't know if I actually want that. Or we've got Pole Position, which is 380 pages, not too bad. I'm going for all these. And I want to read a nearly 500 page book. Oh, I don't want to open it either. Also, one thing about Off Track, I should say, while I'm having a look at these books, is it feels a little bit inconsistent. Only because I read one chapter, and I'm pretty sure they said maybe they were actually in Monaco, but I read it as Silverstone. But I'm pretty sure they said they were in Silverstone, and then I came back 2 chapters later, and they'd been somewhere else, and they were back in Silverstone. But I know there's only one race at Silverstone, so maybe they said Monaco, and I just kind of thought it said Silverstone. But I think that's the only consistent thing I can think of, if that is what said, but I can't remember. So maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember. Okay. I think I know what I'm going to read. I think the next one could be Off the Grid. Because that's a short book. It's 316 pages, and I feel like over Christmas weekend, if I can get this done before Christmas Day, I've got a 4-day weekend where I can literally just sit and read as much as possible, as well as do other things, because that's not all I want to do. But I have got 4 days where I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything. I might go to the cinema to see Housemaid, but other than that, I've got nothing to do. So I would like to think I could try and read a book in those 4 days. Hello, it is Christmas Day when I'm filming this clip. It's not going to be Christmas. It is obviously middle of January when you're watching this, so I'm not even going to say Merry Christmas because it's not Christmas. Anyway, we are still reading Off Track by Asha Patel. I have lost my enjoyment of this book. I liked the F1 stuff for the first 60% of the book, and then the romance started happening, and it felt like it's been so rushed. And then it's been so short-lived, and now we're at 80%, and it's like, I don't even know what's going on. Also, this book is marketed as Rivals to Lovers. I'm not seeing it as Rivals to Lovers. I'm seeing it as, like, because, like, my idea of Rivals to Lovers, like, the hating game is they don't get on. Because they've said it's, like, the F1 version of the hating game. And I'm like, is it? Is it really? Because the hating game, they did not like each other. It took them a while, and then they started to fall for each other. But no, I don't know. I'm not getting that from this book. So yeah, not loving it. Really wish it was over. I was hoping to finish this last night, but I was so tired I just couldn't sit and read. So I've got about 19% left of this book. It should take me about 50 minutes to read the rest of the book, but I'm just kind of, I feel I get this like this when I'm not doing anything and like, but I'm waiting for something. And I don't have like a to-do list. I get into this little like going, this little tightness, and then like a little bit lost of what I'm doing. So yeah, I just spent about an hour literally scrolling for my phone, decided I was going to read a chapter. I don't want to read anymore right now. I can tell it's Christmas, I've got a J2O out. I haven't had a J2O in years, to be fair, but I was like, I'm buying them this year. I'm thinking of playing some Hogwarts Legacy right now, whilst I wait for my nan to get here, because I'm starving. It is only 12:30, to be fair, but I'm so hungry. I don't want to eat. But my nana's not here yet, so I have to wait for her to get here, so hopefully soon. Okay, we're going to ignore how bad the lighting is. We're also going to ignore my hair is now up because it is 8 o'clock on Christmas Day, as I'm still filming on Christmas Day. And I have finished, finally, Off Track by Esha Patel. I think you kind of got it from the last few clips. I wasn't enjoying the rest of this book. I enjoyed the first 60% before the romance started, and that's what I was thinking. This is actually one of my favourite F1 book because like there's a lot of F1 talk, but no. If it was just based on F1 talk alone, I probably would give it higher. I'd probably give it like a 3.5. I'm rating it a 2.5 based on the fact that the romance part annoyed me. I didn't care. I literally skim read the last 20% just because I just didn't care for the rest of the book. So yeah, I'm giving it 2.5 stars. Now, part of me really doesn't want to read another F1 book right now, like in this time of life, but I also feel like I can't finish this video on just one physical book. So I am going to, no, what did you just do? Why did you go down? Nope. I'm going to read Off the Grid by Kay Bromberg. This is... so if you hear noise in the background, my nana's still here, so there's a lot of noise. I just wanted to see more information, but... Okay. I don't know, come on. Because my math is terrible, we already know. It's a steamy, forbidden sports romance, so it's boss's daughter kind of vibes. So we're going to see how that one goes, and if that's any good for my second F1 book of the video. I don't know if I'm just getting to that point where I have to just stay clear of Formula 1 romances because it's ruining my, like, thought. No, it's not. I still love the F1 romances. I still love Formula 1. I'm so excited for the next season to start, like, counting down till March to watch it. Well, actually, I'm counting down to my birthday and then I'm counting down to March. By the time you're watching this, I'll be counting down to March to watch the race because I miss it so much. Hello, okay, I thought I'll give you like my first update on Off the Grid because I don't know how many you're going to get because I'm not sure if I'm going to continue reading it. To be fair, maybe I'm just bored of romance, which is kind of sad, scary, because I'm about to film another video which is going to be reading romances. So that's going to be an interesting one. However, I genuinely cannot tell you how much I'm bored, and to be fair, I'm only, how many chapters am I in? Five chapters in, including the prologue, and right now I'm just bored. Nothing is happening, it just feels a bit like stale. I might try and listen to the audiobook on Spotify, if it is on Spotify, in a bit. I'm currently doing how much I can read in 45 minutes, because I'm starting 75 books from the 1st of January. Because why not? Let me have a look if this... Okay. Okay. Let me have a look if this is on Spotify. It's on Spotify. I might try and give some of the audiobook and listen when I do stuff this evening, so I can try and get a good chunk of the way through, because right now I am not enjoying it. I know it means using up my Spotify hours, which is annoying, but at the same point I don't want to DNF it because I'm doing it for a video, and the goal doesn't set in until the 1st of January, guys. So when I'm filming this, it's the 28th of December, so it's okay. But I could say we're following a girl called Camille and a guy called, I've already forgotten his name, Riggs. I think his name's Riggs. That might be his last name though. I'm not entirely sure. And we're following them. Camilla's dad is like the CEO of a racing... Basically like a racing company, like, you know, you've got McLaren, you've got Ferrari, like them, but not them, but like he's known of, yeah, and I don't know what you call them because my brain is not working, and also it's just not, they haven't given a name of it. I don't think, and if they have, I've completely ignored it. And Camilla's basically learning the ropes, well, he's been persuaded to come in to learn the ropes to take over from her dad, because her dad has, I think it's MS, but I could be wrong. So he is slowly having to, like, he needs, like, to give it to someone, so he wants to give it to his daughter. So she's coming back to take over that, and then you've got Riggs, who's an F1 driver, and we barely know him because we've had, like, a prologue of him when he was a child, and then one chapter of him, and every other chapter is literally just Camilla right now, and I'm not exactly enjoying it. This book is just, I think F1 romances aren't for me, guys. I really don't think they're for me. It's just, I feel like, I mean, okay, we just had basically Camille had a dream of having sex, but it felt, the way it was written sounded like it was real. I mean, I kind of was glad it was a dream and not real, because otherwise it'd have been too rushed. But I like the tension between them and the banter, but actually it isn't for me at all. And I like want to say, let me check where I'm actually at in the book. So basically, I'm basically 50% of the way through, I'm halfway, and I'm not loving it, guys. It's just not great. There's not much else I can say. I have no thoughts. Hello, okay, I'm getting ready for work. I actually woke up later than I wanted to, so I'm about to just intro this ending a little bit earlier, but it's fine. My eyes, oh my god. However, I finished Off the Track last night, by Kay Bromberg. I did not like the book, guys. I really didn't. And it's really hard to think comprehensive thoughts right now, but we're going to try. I think there was a lot, once they started doing whatever they were doing, there was a lot of smart. And I'm all for spice in the books, but it felt like every time they were together, they couldn't have it wasn't just a conversation, that it would just be sex, basically, every single time for a while. And I was like, okay. And then the ending, everything that happened at the ending, I don't want to give too much away, but obviously when there's sometimes conflict, that leads to like a third act breakup, I guess you could say. But everything that happened at the end was very rushed. Like, it was resolved within a matter of nanoseconds. It was very rushed at the end because they took forever. It was just, everything took so long. Like, I'm all for books being short, like 300 pages, but if it's going to be that short, you can't rush the ending. You kind of got to rush them in together, so it's like, it's the love, if that makes sense. And then, I don't know, maybe that's just my thoughts. I think the ending was way too rushed, the beginning was very slow, and it just didn't have good pacing all the way through. I think if the pacing was there all the way through, it would have been okay, but no. So I've given this book a 2 stars. So we're ending the year on a bad reading. And I'm starting to think that F1 romances are not for me, because if you can tell, the only one I rated highly in this was Wrecked, and that wasn't because of the F1 part, that was because of the romance in the book. So I'm starting to think F1 romances are not for me. But I did enjoy doing this video, so I do hope you enjoyed. It is now the end. I do hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, please follow my social medias that are linked in the description, and I will see you again very soon with another video.